All right. What's going on? Happy Tuesday, everyone. What's up? What's up? It's another Tuesday of Awakening America, where we're going to continue awakening people to their best potential, to the best life, to do life differently, but overall for these times that are living. Every Tuesday, week after week, we're here building people. That's what we do together, building people, bringing amazing trainings to help you progress in your business, to be ahead of the curve and be ahead of many people out there who might not see what you're seeing right now, but we know exactly what's happening. That's why we're bringing you to Awakening America, where leaders create leaders and the rest will follow. And tonight, we have a very special treat, very special trainer tonight who's going to bring us an amazing information. So whether you're here for the first time or you've already been on these trainings, you're going to get a treat. Now, I want to see who on here tonight would like to make an MBA, like to have an MBA. Massive bank account. Drop the money emoji on here tonight. Let's light up the screen with a money emoji. Money, 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 right? And we got in here tonight an amazing rock star. It's the first time coming up to bat in our ground, but she's about to knock it out of the park. UK gave us one of the finest, amazing human beings on this planet. Now she's living in Canada, but she found a home in here, in Awakening America, with all of you amazing rock stars. And tonight, we're going to learn about how do you not have a second chance to give the first impression. You need to learn how to, I don't know how many on here are already doing, social media, online marketing. If you are, that's super awesome. There's always more to learn, but it's really important to give that first impression, that first angle of you. When people hop on your page, what do they see? Do I want to talk with this person? Do I like them? That trust factor. And this amazing trainer tonight is going to break it down in bite size. I think my 6-year-old grandson is going to understand it tonight, but what she's bringing is fire for you to really elevate, to take your business and your whole life to the whole next level, understanding the proper way of impressions and branding yourself the correct way. Please help me welcome all the way from Canada, but also here in part of the world of Awakening America, the rock star, the new I would say the new addition of our family, Mrs. Jillian Murray. What's up, Rockstar? Good evening. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You can say, there it is. Good. I'm feeling good. It's all about first impressions. So it's all about making other people feel good when they're around you, right, Omar? Absolutely. If you don't make me feel good by just in 7 seconds, I don't want to know you, just so you know. Okay, just letting you know. All right. But yeah, I'm really excited about tonight. It's a very simple presentation, but it's probably the most important when you're building relationships. It's the first seconds in somebody's life is where you have an opportunity to impact your bottom line. Right. So we're going to go through the basics tonight. By the way, I'm currently in Canada, but I do actually live in St. Martin. If you know where St. Martin is, that's actually in the Caribbean. I'm heading over there soon in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I love the fact that this is a global company, Omar, like the building relationships. Just to give you a bit of a background of where I come from. I've been working virtually even before it became a thing, before the big C word came out. I was doing virtual training. I was actually part of the corporate team doing virtual training on social media before people actually used Facebook. So that's how old I am, So I actually did social media training for Avon, its company, and that's how I met the beautiful Claudia. So Claudia is the reason why I fell in love with this company, but also, I am very much into holistic healing, and I wanted to find the right fit for me. And if you did watch our show last night, Dr. Ronnie was on the show. We did a girls talk with Gabriella and Dr. Rosanna Holtz, and that was amazing. We're doing this every week, by the way. It really is about how you can make a difference in alternative healing in the life, but you yourself have an opportunity to change somebody's life, but you only have a first impression. And if you don't make a good first impression, it's going to take you eight amazingly fabulous follow-up impressions to overcome that first. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. Okay.
You guys didn't get that. That was painful. If you don't get it at the first impression, you're gonna have to work harder, 7 to 8 times harder. So pay close attention, take notes. If you need an extra pen, I can't give it to you, but try to have an extra one and be sure to take as possible notes because tonight's gonna be golden nugget night. And as we were talking last night, we were on for a little bit. We could go for hours, but I know that what's coming, one, we all need it, and two, you're gonna love it. It's gonna help you greatly. So the virtual stage is all yours. Go ahead and drop your knowledge, drop some fire, and bring that wisdom that you have. Let's take advantage and pick her brains.
All right, so if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. So just give me a moment while I get myself set up, and I will start presenting. 1 second. Let me see. And you tell me if you can see the screen. Does everybody see my screen? Okay. Like I said, I'm actually, oops, 1 second. Just give me a moment. I'm not at my office on the island right now, so I don't have all the same equipment I normally work with. So this is me fumbling a little bit. So this is not the great first impression, but you'll get it, okay? 1 second. Right. All right, here we go. All right. So first of all, we talked about, first impressions, but first of all, I want to mention what is branding? Let's ask the question about what is branding? Branding, we all talk about, you got to have a good brand, or, I bought a great brand, or, what is the difference between marketing and branding? Branding is the process of creating a powerful, positive perception of the company and the products in your customer's mind. So as affiliates or as a business person, you have to make sure that whatever you're presenting is going to make sure that your end customer, potential end customer, or end connection or relationship has a positive experience. So we all know there's some great brands out there. We all have great brands. For Life has a great brand, but there's all these other companies out there. Typically, they're very good at positioning themselves to make sure that their end user feels good. Right? If they feel good about that brand, they're going to promote that brand. They're going to go back to that brand. And in some cases, that brand could be you. Okay. So the next one. So we've all seen this lovely saying, you never get a second chance to make a great first impression. Now, you can say that, but you can get a second chance to make a great first impression, but you have to, it takes you 8 times. It has actually been studied, and it did take that amount of time to actually go back and make the other person feel good. So does anybody have any examples? Like maybe Omar, can you give me an example in your life where you've actually met somebody and the first impression was not great, but over time they kept working towards you, and then eventually you liked them? Did that ever happen to you? But how painful was that with you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty painful. I mean, when you kind of like rub a little bit wrong in a certain way. But I even have a crazier story because
Yes.
my wife, she didn't like me in high school, and she could not tolerate me. Today we're 25 years married, well together, and 20 married, and I did not give the best first impression, but I had to work my tail off to get there, get that smile, and get her attention.
And you know what? I'm glad that you brought up relationships, and that is the ultimate relationship is when you get married. But when you put that into correlation with building a relationship with a potential customer, it is a dating game. We all put on that great show at first. We do a little flirting back and forth, introducing them to some products that you may like, and the way you look, how you feel, how you smell. There's a whole little dating game before somebody actually decides, you know what? I'm actually going to do a transaction here. I'm going to take this person out for a date. So if you think about how the effort we put in to presenting yourself to actually get somebody to go on a date with you, imagine what it's like when we just assume that somebody's going to buy from us because we just showed up, right? So I just want you to think about that when we're actually meeting somebody for the first time. Okay, next one. So here, have you ever met someone for the first time and immediately decided what kind of person they are? This is a good one. I don't know how many times I've done this, and that includes customers. So how many times have you've seen somebody in person and you're not quite sure whether or not they're going to be a customer for you because of the way they dress, not so much you dress, but the way they dress, or you think that they're not going to be interested in you. You already have a preconceived notions based on their outer the way they're dressed. So we have to be careful that also reciprocates on the same direction towards us. First impressions stick. So we sometimes actually will shut off somebody as a potential prospect or a potential customer based on their looks or their actions or the mannerisms. But the same thing happens when they look towards us as a potential supplier of a product. When we have something in our hand that we know could change somebody's life, not only by product, but also by earning or giving them some way of actually earning to feed their family. But we don't ever walk into a relationship or a potential relationship or a connection with a preconceived notion of who that person is until you get to know them. Okay, that's just one big takeaway that I've learned in my life of working in the direct selling field. Okay, next question. This is funny. And let's just go through the facial expressions of this guy on the left, if you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. But this is the 7-second rule. Most people judge a person they meet based on their first impressions, which typically last about 7 seconds. So I don't know about you, but I think it might be even faster when it comes to scrolling on your phone, right? I have 3 girls, and I've watched them on the phone, and like they make a decision whether they want to stop and look at something within like seconds, like literally seconds. You know, they'll go through and say, "Oh, I'll stop here because that person looks interesting. I'm going to stop. Oh, okay, I'll stop and look at that person." But you know, you've got to be careful what you're presenting initially when somebody sees you online and also in person, because that second or that split visual will make or break a connection for you, or potential income or potential sale, or even potential relationship with somebody that you can actually change their life because they had a preconceived notion based on what they saw very briefly. Now, prior to my virtual world, I used to work in marketing, and one of my first jobs, by the way, was actually a window dresser. For those who know what mannequins are, they don't really have those anymore, but mannequins used to have hair, and my job was actually to do window dressing. And our first rule of thumb when we were a window dresser was to make sure that the lighting looked good on that mannequin, that customer walked into that department store, they only have a certain amount of time that I can grab their attention. But typically they're walking in and they're making decisions based on what they look, and they're going to choose to buy a product based on where it's presented, how it's presented, and how it looks, and whether or not it actually resonates to their values or their needs. But if it's not positioned correctly, that time frame of them walking into the department store, it could be missed. It's the same thing when you're thinking about, you know, showcasing yourself as a potential supplier for somebody. The time has now gotten shorter. It used to be
TED
right?
Talk they recently went thanks to TikTok, but TED Talk they said it went down to 3.4 seconds.
Exactly.
That's what you got. It's just to connect somebody to know if they like you or not, and vice versa.
It's amazing though, like our attention span has gotten even so short that we have to be careful about what we do and how we present. And you're right. And we've gone from being a 15-minute walk through a store to somebody seeing something and making a decision to now 3.4 seconds. Thank you for that. It's kind of scary, actually. So back to the online presence in comparison to, you know, when you're out shopping or you're doing a business meeting, we take our time to get dressed. We're doing a presentation. We're all going to look good. The same thing should be if you're wanting to present yourself as a strong affiliate in any company, or as a professional or somebody of credibility, depending on what you're presenting. You want to make sure your online presence is strong. But then let's elaborate on that. Why do you think it's important to be solid and clean and for your presence? Why do you think that's the case? And I can't see the screen right now, Omar, so you're going to have to help me if there's anybody asking any questions.
All right, I'm checking over here.
Okay. Thank you.
So I think it's for me, I would say we are like, okay, we are the face, we are our own brand in a biggest way. But if we're branding also our products and services, and we're talking about entrepreneurship, we're business, presentation as we are, we should be representing that. We should be aligned to what our words with how we look. That goes also with the prospecting. That's another whole topic.
But you're absolutely right, because if we are not aligning ourselves with our core values, and I don't know if you guys have ever done a core value exercise, but that is a great little exercise to do maybe in a future training. But whatever you put out there is basically what you're going to attract. So if you want to attract people of influence, or people with presence, or people that are living in the health and wellness industry, or maybe looking at that as an option, or maybe even looking to increase their wealth as well alongside yourself, you want to make sure that you're attracting that viewer by presenting who they want to become. Okay, so that's just a little tip right there. Okay, so next one. So if you work in the health and wellness is this a good first impression to share online? Yes, no?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And what, so let's just say, for instance, Omar, okay, I am, you're amazing on Instagram. I've been following you for a little while, but then, I go to your Instagram and you got some great content in there, but then I turn around and I'm going to go check your Facebook, and you had a great night the night before, and somebody decided to tag you on a party that you went to the night before, and something like this showed up, and you just shrugged it off. They go, oh, nobody goes to Facebook, right? Because you're very prevalent on Instagram. How do you think that's going to affect you if somebody did find that after they've been following you from Instagram? How do you think that's going to affect them? That one little photo of you, what's that going to do for your credibility?
Greatly affected. It shows a very low trustworthy person. And at least for me, if we talk about principles, core values, and when we see something like that, I just threw my whole career out one picture.
It's amazing how, again, going back to impressions, right? Where people actually have a preconceived idea of who you are. They build trust, they emulate you, they look at you, and then all of a sudden you throw something to them. It's actually, you basically shot your integrity. You're not that person that they thought you were, and it makes them second guess. And do they want to, continue a relationship with somebody? And it's not only financially, but even just from a referral option. You remember, it's not just that transaction. Everybody's not just a transaction. They're also a potential future referral to help increase your business. So you want people to look at you and emulate you and find trust with you to the point where they're now going to ask, refer people to you. So be careful how you present yourself if you want to make sure that you are going to have continuous business that's going to grow. So just a little thing, because we sometimes forget, we think that it's fun to be on Facebook and do all these things. But if somebody is going to be looking to invest in you, and you've got to be careful about how you're presenting. And I don't mean that you can't do these things and have a lot of fun, but you may want to look at changing your settings. So, or maybe you have a profile for business. Just so you guys know, I have a profile that I use for my professional business, and then I have a profile is internal and is private. It's just for my close friends. And that's, where I could probably have a little fun and showcase things that had happened on the weekend, that it's internal within my friend. But that's very locked down and is controlled. But you never want to try to cross over and get too transparent about your life to some degree. You want to make sure it's professional and that you are showcasing value to the potential client. Okay, so this was a really important picture to make sure that there's a time and place for everything. And sometimes something like this needs to be behind a closed door. Okay.
Hey, Julian, just a real quick. I also use this when I'm prospecting. Anything I see like that, if it's like way too much, I spoke about that in one of the prospecting trainings. You don't want to join somebody. You don't want somebody on your team who's not going to be, diligent, who's not going to be disciplined. Yeah, you can have the fun, like you said. You have another page. You can have the fun. But if I see somebody who's just constantly just partying, how serious will they take the business?
Exactly. And you know what? I hate to say it, but recruiters do this all the time. They basically, now that everything, the world is out there, where we're just basically so public, we know the powers that be are checking us out online. They're checking out all our activity, right? So your customer's going to do the same. But I know you're right about prospecting. I'm looking for a potential client, but a potential partner or leader to join my team. I actually will go to the ones that I know that align with my values. So I'm very selective and very strategic. And we'll talk about that in a second. Like, how can you be strategic and not only how you present yourself, but how you source others? So that is really important. It's a two-way street. We talked about that earlier, right? So thank you, Omar. So keep interjecting. I like that. We want to make this an interjective call, and we will be doing an exercise later. Hopefully you guys can stay tuned, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Okay. So we talked about, what not to do, but now we're saying make sure your online presence showcases your best attributes. So how do you do that? What are you supposed to do? I mean, I'm not expecting you to go off and take all these courses that are happening. This master class of this is a master class of that, and how to do this, that, and the other. Just keep it simple. I'm all about keeping it simple, sisters. It's like keeping it simple. You just want to be clean and authentic and respectful. I mean, you don't go bombarding down the street when you meet somebody in person and you just all over them and try to talk to them a mile a minute. You typically respect them. You take your time. You when you talk to somebody, you make sure that you're approachable, you're clean, you're direct. You want to do the same thing online. You be direct and be transparent, but in a respectful way, not only to your potential customers, but for yourself. So it's very clean. And most people, I mean, there's another training that talks about content and what you should try to do and do not do. And I do have a bit of a checklist that you can acquire from me later. However, typically, most people gravitate to an image of a wellness or a wonderful life. They want to see a bit of you because you are the store that they're buying into. You are that commodity. You are that business. You are that trust factor. So you have to present something that they're looking to attain themselves. So in some cases there is a ratio where you typically would put in 80% of your lifestyle of what you're doing and how you're enjoying your life based on what you're doing. Maybe some motivational quotes in there, something that tells people a little about who you are and your family, what you enjoy to do. I'm not expecting you to go hire a photographer to go out there and take some those fake, shots that you see in catalogs. We're not asking for that. But what you should be doing is authentically presenting yourself and how much joy you have because of the products that you have currently you're representing, regardless of what it is. And so that 80% of you should be about you. And then the other 20%, maybe it's one day a week where you put a post about your product. Or, that's where it becomes a little bit more easier, because I don't know about you, Omar, but how many times have you've seen people, they're posting and there's pictures and there's pictures and pictures and pictures, and you got to the point now where you just block these people because it's annoying. You feel,
Absolutely. I've seen.
So we don't want to be inundating people with people. People fall in love with you. They fall in love with the products based on the results they see in you. So if you take the time to just present who you are, there's a whole nother training on attraction marketing, but keeping it simple. Don't remember, there's nothing worse than going into, I don't know about you, but I can't stand going sometimes into a shopping store or like a Walmart, and I'm inundated with signs. There's signs everywhere, like information overload. And all I want to do is actually go get one thing in the store, but I have to weed through the masses to get to the one thing. We are inundated with information overload today. So let's make it a good experience for people to join in and get to know who you are. And your social media is where they have a window into who you are. Remember that. They used to see you mostly in person, but now we're getting used to being online. And that's where we do prospecting. There's a whole other kettle of fish that talks about prospecting and social media. And that is another big training. However, right now, let's just fix the window for you. And remember, you are the store. Okay. So the other thing I want to talk about is engaging with your online customers. So a lot of times you'll have people interacting, you put a comment and they'll say something to you, but you got to be mindful of what you post online because other people are watching. And I know this is kind of a nasty post, but it's very extreme. I don't know about you, but have you ever seen a friend post something and you're like, I don't know, I think they need to get some help, or you start thinking about them. You're worried about their mental wellness, and they're basically offloading their dirty laundry, about how they didn't like somebody, or they didn't like somebody over here, or had a bad experience over here. But by doing that, it's like going to coffee with a girlfriend and listen to your girlfriend gossip about people or say things nasty about something. Do you really want to sit down with that girlfriend and keep on talking to her? Because you're afraid you're going to walk away and she's going to start talking about you. So be mindful of what you post online, because you'd be surprised what other people are watching. I've been in a position where, I kind of swayed once in a while when I was younger and I said something. And I remember my brother who lives in UK calling me up. I said, Jillian, what are you doing? And I didn't even realize that I hadn't talked to him in like 6 months, but he knew what I said on social media about something because I was upset about something. So don't ever think that nobody's watching because they haven't commented or liked your post. Just because you can't see somebody interacting doesn't mean they're not watching you and they're making an opinion on that post. Okay. And the other thing is make sure you handle negative feedback gracefully and turn it into a positive. So sometimes somebody might have an opinion about what you say, and they might say something nasty, or maybe they'll just make a comment that you don't like. But if you actually start having a conversation with them in a polite manner, respectful manner, grateful manner, 9 times out of 10, you're building relationship. In some cases, they may not be having a good day, and they just want to vent. Because typically that's the only problem with social media is that they can just offload and walk away. And they're not really building that rapport when they're in front of you. So sometimes being in front of people is more solid because you can actually gauge a reaction, and it's in time with each other. It's the same timeline. But sometimes when somebody just fires off an opinion, you don't necessarily get that opportunity to react right away. But when you do get an opportunity to have a dialogue, make sure it's always positive, because you always want to make sure that person has a positive, good experience with you so that they can refer you to other potential clients. Okay. Any feedback so far? Anybody enjoying this?
It's gold, that's for sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. Actually, we're talking about marketing strategy, and while being yourself is important, it's also crucial to present yourself strategically online. I mentioned before that you're the first contact when people need to build trust with somebody. You are the storefront for your business. People buy you. Now, does everybody understand what that means when I say that you are the storefront? And put that in relation to you actually going downtown to your local market, and then there's a really nice little coffee shop or a little vendor store that you go into. Would you walk into a store that has dirty windows, that is got cobwebs on the door frame, that has a closed sign on it? It's basically closed because there's no lights on. You wouldn't go into that store, right? But you would. Now, if you, again, thinking of yourself online, if you're not interacting with that customer, if you're not available for those messages that they send to you in query about certain things, it takes you 3 days to answer the message. You're not necessarily doing a great job at being a storefront. You are a storefront, and you are the person that that is presenting them with an opportunity, again, that could change their life. But you have to show up. So you first of all have to have the I'm open for business sign up. You have to interact with that potential customer that walks through your door or messages you online. You have to have a process, and you have to be strategic in how you respond. So you don't want to inundate that potential customer, just like you don't want to chase somebody when they come into the store. You don't run up against them. And there's nothing worse than somebody, when you go shopping, that somebody's over your shoulder asking for help. Like, what do you need? Like, you don't feel comfortable. Allow them to build that relationship. So if you put everything that you do typically in person and then translate that into the online experience, and remember, you are the store, because that's what they're buying, is buying you. They can go off and buy products at Susie Q or Bob over across the street, but they will only come back to you if you've given them a great experience. And that's the same thing about you. I don't know how many Walmarts there are in the world, but I typically will go to the same Walmart, even if it's 3 towns away, because of the experience that I get at that particular Walmart. And I should be branding that right now, but that's just, everybody seems to be aware of what a Walmart is, right? So that is what I do, is I choose to go where I have the best experience, because I can buy the product anywhere else. I can buy it in another store, but I'll go where I know I get the best experience. Okay. All right. All right. So the one thing that's really important to do, and this is part of your challenge is going to be coming up, is that you need to regularly review your social profiles as if you were someone else. So there is a little thing you can do for those that are tech friendly. You can go in and on incognito mode, which is a function that you can do online on Google, and you can actually go view it as though you were not as yourself, as somebody else looking at your profile. Or one of the best things that I would recommend that you do is find a buddy, a friend, somebody you trust, or even somebody in this group chat right now, or somebody that is watching this. Ask them to give you an honest opinion, or even better yet, ask them to ask their daughter, their son, or somebody, it could potentially be a potential client, that can give you an indirect feedback. Okay. Because sometimes your friends are afraid, they don't want to tell you because they care about you, and they don't want to hurt your feelings. But it's good to actually have somebody you don't know go in, look at your profile, and give you an honest feedback based on the 7-second, remember 7-second rule of going through and checking out your profile picture, checking out your bio, checking to see whether or not you're actually in business, checking to see whether or not you're overlapping too many businesses and it's confusing, and maybe even something as simple as making sure that your contact information is correct. So it's do yourself a favor, do a little bit of an audit on yourself, and this will open up so many doors. We did this exercise, just so you know, a few years ago when I was working with another company in corporate, and we're working, and this is a head office where we had corporate employees who were virtually training people, and we did this crossover exercise, and it was amazing to be able to look at yourself from somebody else's angle. I do this all the time. When I used to be in a window dresser and do merchandising, I would make a point of pulling away, walking around for a few minutes, and then coming back at a different angle to see how it looked for the customer at a different angle. You can do the same thing virtually. So whenever you do a setup of an event, and I don't know about you, but you guys maybe do like a product event or a convention, the best thing you could do is actually to walk away and come back and look at it at different angles and see what the viewpoint is. If something blocking it, is something blocking the screen, is something, is the table skirt crinkled or off center, are we blocking the main message? It's the same thing when you're looking at your social media profiles, and I'm not just talking Facebook. If we have so many profiles. Like, people have TikToks, people have Instagram, most people have Facebook, because that's still the most popular. But you got to look at your LinkedIn, and remember, if you have all these profiles that are dead and empty, you might want to look at that and just decide which one you're going to focus on, and maybe you might want to park the other ones so they're not viewable. Because if you can't update your Instagram in line with your Facebook, it again is confusing to that potential customer. So just think about what you're doing and make sure that whenever you are posting something, that it leaves a lasting and positive impression online. They'll keep coming back to you. They will always keep coming back to you when they feel good about their experience when they meet you online and in person. Okay. All right. So this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about the challenge, because we have 15 minutes before this is over, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go through too much of the details, but for those that did take the effort to show up tonight, what I did do is I created a social media profile checklist. And on that checklist, it gives you a little bit of a what to do, what not to do to help make sure your profile picture is aligned for you. If you're focusing on and presenting yourself as an affiliate for whatever brand that you're focusing on, but I know the audience tonight is for life, then this is a little direction, a little checklist of what to do. And the same thing about updating your bio. I mean, every single social media process has a different way of presenting. So I know in Facebook, they have a little section for updating your bio, but LinkedIn has a longer section to update your bio, whereas Instagram is very much about links and a little bit of emojis. So there are some best practices for how to update your social media handles, but make sure that they're aligned to the little checklist I gave you. That for those that attended tonight, you'll get an opportunity to get this. And it's also goes back to that content consistency, a little explanation about that as well. Some things that you can do for engagement, how you can align your social media to promote the For Life's mission, and also about authenticity, listening and understanding, some suggestions on quality content, and about consistency, and even a little tip on privacy settings. Like I mentioned earlier, you may want to make sure your settings on your social media are aligned with who your audience is and who you're targeting, to make sure that you're not confusing a potential customer. So this challenge, I mean, in the past, when I've done these virtual trainings, we typically would have a breakout session, but I don't think we have time for that tonight. But the breakout session would pair you up with somebody, and you would actually do this challenge and actually go in and do that little audit. But since we don't have that much time tonight, I would ask you to take the challenge, find somebody to do this with, because it's in both your best interest, not only for yourself, but even if think about it, if you're looking to get a potential partner, if you're looking to build more relationship, if you're looking to attract people of same values as you might want to do this exercise just for your own sake, based on my experience of being and doing social media training now for many, many years. Okay. So how can you get this flyer? You can get this flyer, and it's going to show you my contact information here. Okay. I'll go back to that slide in a second. So I'm Jillian. You can find me, by the way, as Jillian Murray on Facebook. All right. So if you find me on Facebook, maybe I'll put my link in the chat, but I'm out there right now, and you'll see a logo. It says good, similar to what I have. It's behind my back. I want you to find me on Facebook. You're also invited to join my Feel Good, Share Good community, where we're going to be sharing a lot of trainings and a lot of, right now we've been sharing some of our girl talks in there. And it's a really great little good vibe community where we help you stay motivated and positive, especially in these times. So everybody that's on this, hears this message, or hears this presentation tonight, you're more than welcome to come join us. My website's under construction, so bear with me, but I want you to understand the messaging of Feel Good, Share Good is if you feel good, which is my whole premise, is I want to make sure if I feel good, I'll share good. So again, back to how you're presenting and how you're branding yourself. So my brand is the good brand. Okay, I want others to feel good. So when you go to my profile, what are you going to see? You're going to see messages of Feel Good, Share Good. You're going to see a message of my logo that I created for me, but you're also going to see that I'm kind of consistent about positive vibes, positive messages. So I challenge you, if you see anything that's not of that case, please message me, because we all need to support each other. So if you have a sister or brother or friend who does work with you or is part of your team, you should be helping each other out by giving them feedback and allowing them to understand the implications of what they're presenting, not only in person, but online. And could that will affect not only their bottom line, but potentially if you're their upline, your bottom line. Okay. All right. So any other questions tonight?
Guys, take advantage for your questions. If you want them answered tonight, I don't see any particular questions, but this has been amazing, Jillian. Great value. If you guys found some value, light up that screen with some fire emojis. If you guys found this incredibly valuable, helpful, and they can actually get and understandable. Like, it's so simple to understand. It's advanced stuff, but it's really simple to understand because Jillian breaks it down in such a way. She's a total pro. Look at that rock star. Listen, you found home. You're more than welcome here, and we're glad to have you here. Great things are going to come. I know this is just going to be the beginning of many virtual stages you're going to be lighting up pretty soon. You're going to be invited to many. You're going to bring a lot of value to this, to the team, to the company, and your community as well. And we're going to be also hopping on and peeking into your community, the stuff you're doing, to keep up with that. Looking forward to see you in convention next April from the 25th to the 27th. So you have a vision?
That
This
too.
is
I'm
where we
actually
want to
really
be.
excited about that. I'm excited about that. And
That's going to be amazing. Last one was incredible. I was able to see Dr. Rosanna Holt. I saw Betty. I saw so many people from on here that it's just so. It's one thing to see us in virtual, and when we get together, it's just a whole next level of different type of energy. It's escalated, and you're gonna have an incredible time. So can't wait to hug your neck and see you there, and hopefully, and I'll take you on that. I don't drink, but I'll take you on any drink just to sit down and pick your brain.
Well,
So
you know what? You know what, Omar, I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody. And I miss my former life, just so you know, this how I discovered St. Martin was actually at a convention when I worked for Avon Canada. And, I would travel the world a lot. I miss the traveling. I'm missing doing the conferences. I miss doing the conventions. I miss the PC banquets when I used to help those ladies do those banquets. But I've been looking, and you know what? I haven't really come out yet. I feel like I'm having a come out story when it comes to For Life. I've only been with the company now for 2 weeks. And we've just been moving quite along, but I guess now I'm out. I'm just going to tell the world right now that I am now out. I am now a For Life affiliate. I'm proud to be part of it. You guys have actually been welcoming me with open arms. I just want to say this now because I know even Kawilder here, we've known each other a couple of years. So she did the Dr. Ronnie program with me, and and it's like being invited into the right family, not only because of the community. And for me, it's about community. It's about the people first, but as Kawinder knows, I was looking and even tried to build my own community. And it is about the people first, but it's about the passion. And you guys have so much passion, and it's global passion, man. I've never seen so much people and collectively pulling together. And what it is the products. I have been searching for years, and I'm going to share this now. I've been searching for years for the right fit, the right products that help us with my mission of giving people an opportunity to feel good. And you have the best alternative products I've ever seen. And I have a lot of people in my back and behind me, including Dr. Ronnie, who has now publicly said that she loves these products too, to the point where Miss Celebrity Detox Doc, if you don't know her, you're going to love her. She's amazing. She's brilliant. She helps save many people's lives. But the fact that she can now go on her thumb and she has a protocol that is alternative, but offers natural solutions and makes it easy. That's what I was looking for. I wanted an alternative solution with the right vibration, if you know what I'm talking about, that allows me to offer great products. So people passion products. And I'm looking forward to this, guys. I'm looking forward to the profit. So 4 P's. We all talk about 4 pillars of health. My 4 P's of feeling good, sharing good is people, passion, products, and profit. I quoted that. Don't take that from me, but that's mine. Anyway.
That's awesome. Hey, you mentioned
that.
a global passion. We have people from Philippines up in here tonight. Emmeline Uitesi from Philippines. What time is it over there? I think it's like early in the morning. And that's pretty amazing. But we also got Luis Gonzalez from the UK. So you went global. You went
Well,
global tonight.
I'm going to have to call my brother and my sister. I have a lot of family in the UK. I have a lot of family in Canada. And remember, I live in Caribbean. So this is global. This is what I want, because I've been working virtually, but I wanted to make sure I could get this reach out there. And if I can help somebody change their life, if I can change their life physically, mentally, healthily, and financially, this is a company that's going to do it. I'm just telling you right now. And I'm coming from an outsider coming in, and Claudia's been sitting on this, and so is Kilwinda, for how many years, and I've known you how many years, and that, you know what, it's about time I woke up, and I am woke up now, and I'm ready to do this with you guys, right, Rosanna? Right? I've known you for a couple of years too, Rosanna, and you never even told me. Thank you.
Amazing. Oh, we got people from Malaysia too. Kenny Koo. And big shout out to our female top mentor, Gabriella Daughtry, who's on here tonight. Behind the scenes over there, quiet, but she's up here. So big shout out to her. And I want to thank everyone that made it up tonight, that showed up, to show the love, show the passion, show the team, and that are here to continue learning together so we can all grow together. And I want to thank Claudia for trusting me with her account so I can be here hosting with you guys tonight. And also, I want to thank our top leaders, Dave and Gabriella. They're like amazing people. They have so much to do. They have their family, they have the business, and they always take out time to reply our messages, to get back at us, and to show up. That's one of the major big things as a leader, is to show up. So Jillian, I am incredibly so pumped up tonight. I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm grateful that you brought all this value. Thank you for taking out of your time. You got so much to do. You got your husband, family, everything else. You decided to be here tonight to deliver. So guys, don't forget to go and follow her. Go on Facebook, everywhere you can find her. And when you can, pick her brains. She also answers. She replies to messages. So she's awesome like that. All right. So tomorrow we have an amazing night. Today has been incredible. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your passion. Remember, you're never gonna get a second time to give a first grade impression. All right, so go out there, do the best of it, take these notes. If you want the recording, it should be done by tomorrow-ish, maybe in the afternoon. I'll try to do it as fast as I can, but I'll have it and I'll give it out to all of you who want it, and definitely want to share it with others so you can help others as well. This is Awakening America, where rock stars create rock stars, and we had a rock star up in here tonight. I'm really glad. I'm excited for what's coming. And like I said, can't wait to see you guys in convention. Vision 24. Hey, there's a great proverb that say, without vision, the people perish. So we want to connect to that vision.
Right. I just wanted to, the people are asking me to share the file. I said, if you show up in these meetings, I shared it inside this group because you showed up, right? Everybody else, you have to come follow me and I'll send it to you by messenger. All right. Just so you know, but the person who asked me, I'll message you directly. All right. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm also going to share right here real quick. Before we leave, you guys want to know who's going to be on for tomorrow? Tomorrow's our opportunity night. So if you want to sign up, people, tomorrow is the night. We're going to have, nonetheless, that Mr. Dan Rojas is going to be our special guest speaker. And we have, we got Sonia Van Henke. She brings some fire. She's a powerhouse, as she's going to be hosting tomorrow. And we have, nonetheless, that our favorite doctor from all the Northeast, Mrs. Dr. Rosanna Holt. She's going to be here giving testimony. You do not want to miss out. Tomorrow is going to be sign-up night. Bring your peeps, bring your neighbor, let them bring their pets, their kids, everybody they know, and make sure that tomorrow we have this packed, because this is just the beginning of amazing things that are coming. God bless you all. Like I always say, see you all over the top. Open the mics, and let's give up some love over here for Jillian. Oh, you guys got your mics open. You're so ready for this.
Thank you so much from California. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Blessings.
Thank you, everybody.
Great night.
Thank you.
Night, morning. I can't even. Some people are in the morning right now.
Okay.
Good for you guys. Good night, guys. Love you guys.
Make it good.
Thank you.
Good.
Bye.
Bye, guys.